Hello, I am Julian Sandino with CH2M Hill, and I'm so sorry you missed a great workshop at WEF 2010 in New Orleans. This was a workshop that was where we released a product, one of the products of the WERF Nutrient Challenge, dealing with the establishment of a protocol to select what would be an appropriate external carbon source for your treatment plant. It was one geared towards plant operators, towards designers, towards people involved in making that difficult decision. How do I optimize for my treatment plant that denitrification process? So why is it important to consider several alternatives for carbon augmentation if I am implementing or thinking of implementing denitrification in my treatment plant? Because the choices are not clear. And the choices depend on very site-specific conditions to your plant, to your facility, and to the type of process you're running. But what we felt in the industry was missing was the development of a standard protocol of how to evaluate all the multiple options and really consider them apples to apples. And only when we get to that point of this common approach, we're going to be able then as an industry to move forward in developing site-specific solutions. So how did we approach this? We approached this by creating a project that developed based on input from utilities, based on input from designers, what was the state of the knowledge of a full-scale evaluation and laboratory scale evaluation of carbon sources. We combined those to create this methodology. Think of it as a roadmap, a guideline of how to go through the process of selecting what fits my facility, my particular application. We put together a team comprised of the principal investigators for the project, Dr. April Gu from Northeastern University, and other speakers that would complement the points of view from the utility, from the plant operator standpoint, other academics helping us explain the fundamentals behind carbon augmentation and the different carbon sources, the perspective of whole plant simulator design engineer, of how do you take these principles and applying to plant modeling, to plant simulation, perspective from those involved in instrumentation and controls of the systems that are fairly complex. And we went through a day in which basically we established the background. Why is it important, carbon augmentation, and to figure out the best way to do it? So there's some basic principles, the challenges associated with them, and then actually the presentation of the protocol, the unveiling of the protocol that we generated for this. That protocol has two main components. It has a laboratory testing component, the things that you do in your lab, that will help you establish some basic criteria, it's like a screening process. And then that component of field scale, where you take those concepts and you go to your full-scale plant and also get some data that will help you make those decisions. All of this supported by those non-technical but sometimes very important considerations, issues like sustainability, issues of what should you also consider other than just stoichiometry or rates of reactions, but things like distance toward the product, availability of the product, how green is my product, if it's suitable for my facility, is it a hazardous material, what are the implications for my operators. All of those things are also a very important part of this methodology, and it's included as part of the standard protocol. Perhaps the most interesting and exciting part of the workshop was at the end of it when we broke up the attendees in groups and we gave them a case study, hypothetical, but fairly realistic. And through that case study, allowed them to take all what they learned during the day and apply it through their point of view. And there were points of view from operators that were attending, from the designers. We had regulators. We have academic people there. And they brought all those principles and they put them into practice. Again, it wasn't the right solution. It was just solutions. And then we compare them amongst them. And we learned a lot. We learned a lot about the importance of establishing standard protocols for these key issues. because life is not simple in selecting this kind of technologies, and we need to do it appropriately. So again, sorry didn't see you in New Orleans, but you do have access to all this information. You can access it through the Nutrient Challenges knowledge page at www.werf.org/nutrients. In it, you will find materials from the workshop, the standard protocol itself, and much more associated with Nutrient Challenge. We have almost 60 projects that have been completed or are ongoing, covering all aspects of nitrogen and phosphorus control. So I encourage you to visit us, visit the website, and make the most out of this opportunity. Thank you very much.